What started as a tragic case of domestic violence leaves two people, the victim and the accused abuser, both dead.
That new information from Madison police is shedding more light on Friday's fatal shooting at a Kwik Trip convenience store.
NBC 15's Michelle Beck is live at the scene of that shooting Friday night. Michelle, what's the latest?
Yeah, guys, today police confirmed the homicide suspect they were looking for was in fact the man they found dead inside this Kwik Trip bathroom Friday night. We also learned more gruesome details on why police were searching for him at all.
On Friday, our community was reminded that lives can change in a matter of minutes.
Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes details last week's shooting inside a Kwik Trip convenience store.
In just 13 minutes, our detectives were notified of a homicide suspect in our city, received information that he was armed, spotted the suspect, and followed him into a local business.
The homicide suspect was Justin Kopmeyer. Earlier last week, the 39-year-old had allegedly killed his girlfriend of about a year. The victim, Kristen Schmidt, was found face down in an apartment. Officials believe she was strangled.
Did MPD know of Kopmeyer as a previous abuser? Was he on your radar at all?
He was not on our radar, but we did some research and found that there was one additional call on Christmas Day.
Schmidt was the victim then as well.
I think it's really important to understand that domestic violence does not happen in a vacuum. It is an issue that takes a long time. I mean, no domestic violence or no violent relationship starts with violence. It starts with the honeymoon stage.
Back at the Kwik Trip, MPD says officers tried to talk with Kopmeyer and de-escalate the situation. A taser didn't work, and both the suspect and an officer fired their weapons. That's when Kopmeyer went inside a bathroom, and 2 gunshots later, he was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Now, more on that Christmas Day call for help. MPD says the domestic violence charges against Kopmeyer were ultimately dropped because the victim, Schmidt, did not want to proceed or cooperate with officials. DAYS, or the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, tells us that is common for victims to take back their initial reports. Chief Barnes, however, encourages those to reach out and proceed with that process. For now, live in Madison, Michelle Beck, NBC 15 News.
Michelle, thank you. And we want to remind everyone, DAYS has staff working 24/7 to help those experiencing domestic violence. Anytime, you can call their helpline at 608-251-4445.